In this question, we're asked to find out what 1% of 300 is. We're going to approach this question in the same way as we would earlier percentages of amounts, where we start off with 100% is equal to the value that we started with. So 100% is equal to 300. We can then say our key percentage is 10%, and we find 10% in the same way as we've done previously by dividing by 10, and therefore dividing that side by 10. That gives us 300 divided by 10 is 30. We wanted to work out what 1% was, so we need to get even smaller, down to 1%. And we're considering how do we get from 10 down to 1. Now 10 divided by 10 is 1, therefore we are looking to divide this side by 10 once more, and dividing that side by 10 once more. That gives us 30 divided by 10 is 3. Now some of you may spot we could do it in one go, because 10 divide by 10 is the same as doing a one step divide by 100. Okay, and it'd be the same for that side. Either or is absolutely fine. Press pause while you try this question. Okay, so we have 1% of 500. 100% is equal to 500. Our key percentage is 10%. We calculate 10% by dividing 100 by 10, and therefore dividing 500 by 10. That gives us 500 divided by 10 is 50. Next step is to take this down to 1%, and we find 1% by dividing 10 by 10. Therefore, we also want to divide 50 by 10. That gives us 50 divided by 10 is 5. And that is your answer. We're going to combine this with our other percentage of amounts work, where we are calculating 36% of 300. We are still going to be starting off with 100% is equal to the amount, and 10% is still going to be our key. We calculate 10% by dividing 100 by 10, which means we're also dividing 300 by 10. That gives us 300 divided by 10 is 30. From this point here, we look to see how we can use the 10% to get to this 36%. Now we can break 36% into a 30% and a 5% and a 1% this time. So 30 plus 5 plus 1 gives us 36%. We therefore have 10% is equal to 30, which we are going to calculate 30% from. We also have 10% is equal to 30, and we want 5%. And we also have 10% is equal to 30, and we want 1%. We do this in the same way as we've done before. To go from 10% to 30%, we would times by 3. Therefore, we are timesing this side by 3. That gives us 30 times by 3 is 90, with this value being important. To go from 10% to 5%, we divide by 2, which means we divide 30 by 2. 30 divided by 2 gives us 15. So 5% is 15. This value is important. To go from 10% to 1%, we would look to divide by 10, which means we divide 3 by 10 as well. 30 divided by 10 is 3, so 1% is 3, and this value is important. Remember, we calculate 30% by looking at 30% is equal to 90. 5% is equal to 15, and 1% is equal to 3. When we combine those values of addition, we have 36%. When we combine these values on this side, we have 108. So 36% is equal to 108. Press pause while you try this question here. Okay, so 100% is equal to 500. 10% is equal to 100 divided by 10. Therefore, 500 divided by 10. That gives us an answer of 50 as our 10% for our key. We are looking to use this 10% to help us work out what 17% is. We can calculate 17% by using a 10%, a 5%, and this time we would need a 2%. We're going to use the 10% to help us out, where we can say 10% is equal to 50, and we would like to work out what 5% is, and also 10% is equal to 50, and we would like to work out what 1% is, and from the 1%, a 2%. So, to go from 10% to 5%, we would divide by 2, which means we divide the 50 by 2. That gives us 25. To go from 10% down to 1%, we divide by 10, which means we are going to divide 50 by 10 to give us 5. From 1% to 2%, we would multiply by 2, which means we want to multiply the 5 by 2, which gives us 10. For our question, we said we could add 10%, 5%, and 2% to calculate 17%. Using the values now, we have 10% is equal to 50. We have 5% is equal to 25. And 2% was equal to 10. All in all, we combine them together with addition to give us 17% is equal to 85. This is the answer.